people are getting killed because of this. But as far as the data shows, that's not really true, right? Um, I guess like when it comes to like the whole like Confederacy, like I sent the cornerstone speech. When you look at a lot of the speeches done at that time, I forgot what the biggest one was, but basically when the Confederacy was literally saying we're leaving, we're getting out of this shit. The main reason that they stated was like slavery, right? So here's the thing. I understand why people want to
That was not the main reason, but go ahead.
I'll find
Actually gonna
Like, and nice meeting you, by the way. I
meeting you,
appreciate
Tree.
you being here, and thank you for the link to the video. I will definitely check it out.
Always a pleasure.
Bye, Lycan.
Definitely. Sorry, I'm gonna host you, Pixie.
Okay,
I
thank
want to
you for
say
coming.
thank you for having me. Absolutely. Tree, nice meeting you. I've enjoyed your my introduction to you was with you and my boy Destiny. So those dances
Oh, you're
were
Destiny.
wonderful to watch.
You're cool with Destiny.
We used to do a talk show back in the day. So
Cool.
yeah,
That's my
so
buddy.
that was. I know he does.
I love him back. He's like a little teddy bear. Just,
I don't think we've.
Good night, Lycan.
And I'm really important. I don't think. I think Tor and we were on one thing together. Her
so.
Majesty, we might have as well. But either way, and have a good night.
Bye.
All right, good night.
Everybody go follow him, check him out.
Like in GTV on Twitter. Love you.
Bye. Okay, so I'm gonna say something that you guys might really disagree with, and I don't mean it from a bad place. I don't mean it from a rude place. I think it's kind of weird that people are so prideful of their ancestors fighting in such a terrible war that like their ancestors were kind of like in the wrong side of, right? I think to me personally that's very strange. It's like if my, I guess like this is a bigger issue when it comes to America as well. I think where a lot of people are not allowed to be like ashamed of their ancestors. And if you're ashamed of what the people before you did, that means you're ashamed of yourself. And I just really dislike this narrative because, I don't know, if, for example, if my father, if my grandparents were serial killers or something, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, but they're my blood. I would be like, you know what, it's fucked up what they did, but I'm not like them. I'm better. And we're all can be better than our ancestors. And I guess the reason why I'm going off is because I think the reason why this whole like so much like I guess like white supremacy in a sense has kind of like persisted has been because America, or at least people, haven't been allowed to hold these two beliefs in unison, right? They haven't been allowed to say like, oh no, I think it's fucked up what my ancestors did, but I'm better than that. It's seen as like all or nothing, and I don't know, it's just something that really personally frustrates me. Like imagine
I think that's also subjective because a lot of you all you're not down here in the South.
That's true.
You haven't talked to these people. You haven't talked to these people and actually haven't seen their scrapbooks and talked about all the good things they have done. Even for Black people, they have done. So the thing about it is to say that they're fighting for racism. That's wrong. You can't paint everybody with a broad brush. The thing about it is that
But you're painting people with a broad brush right now.
How?
Because you're trying to say that, well, rednecks to you are a certain way.
No, I said the red. No, I didn't. If you heard me, what I said my rednecks in Georgia. I made a specific distinction. I didn't say rednecks nationwide. I said, let me defend my rednecks here in Georgia. That is exactly what I said. So that means I was being
I just
very
find that a little bit
specific.
problematic.
It's still specific. So therefore, that was not the truth what you just said. So the thing about it is that when you say
I find
that
it a little bit problematic. If I were to say, well, my Black
okay,
people,
problematic how is it? Because you're trying to tell me to give you an experience to tell you I'm telling you my experience, and you're saying
sure,
that giving you my experience is problematic.
Sure,
how is that?
You downplayed my experience because
I'm telling you, I did not downplay your experience.
To me is the same argument as, well, I have a Black.
How did I downplay your experience by telling you my experience?
Because you disagreed with me on what.
Oh, I can't disagree with you. I can't disagree with you to say, hey, let me tell you about my experience.
Absolutely, can disagree with me.
Exactly. So if I say my experience, it's my experience, and just because I'm saying my experience, it does not negate or downplay your experience. If I say fuck your experience, then I am negating it and downplaying it. But if I'm saying I'm going to tell you about my experience.
What I said rednecks are is
I did not tell you that. I said, let me tell you about my experience. I'm going to repeat it again. I'm gonna tell you about my experience. How did you get an equation of that sentence? I said my experience.
Okay.
Okay. Now, because I said my experience, I am explaining to you the rednecks that I associate with, the rednecks that I know and love. And that has been my experience, so that I don't want everybody to think that all rednecks are racist. So therefore, I want to stop the broad brushing by telling you, hey, based upon my experience, which is anecdotal, this is my experience with rednecks. Bam, 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 and bam.
Would you have a problem though with somebody saying that about like?
No, absolutely not. And that's
about
what you
Black
should do.
people?
Here's the thing. This is what you have to do. Instead of assuming what I think, just ask me what I think. So therefore, there won't be no assumptions, because I will be happy to tell you what I think if you just ask me a question instead of assuming. So I'm just telling you, I am not
I'm not
downplaying
assuming, you
anybody.
literally said
I'm
that.
not downplaying anybody's experience. All I'm doing is sharing mine.
Well, with the wrong labeling of people as rednecks, because it's from the labor movement and it was for workers' rights.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? Touring is right. Let's use
Anymore.
hillbilly. Is that more safer? Can we just say hillbilly?
This is an interesting one for me. I don't actually really use like terminology to speak about groups of people, just because the world has become a unique place. So I don't actually know how I would try to tell you what you would describe. I guess you would be trying to describe people that live in rural regions within Georgia.
Yes.
I don't know how entirely I would try to put.
Yeah, I guess we'll just stick with rednecks then, because you're absolutely right. These are Caucasians who live in rural areas who adhere to a certain culture. So yeah.
I just want to say on the Confederate flag thing, I'm from Michigan, and there's a lot of Confederate flags flying in Michigan.
Really?
My mom has a little cottage by a lake up north, and there are one of our neighbors has not a, he has a